Hi, and welcome to the fourth and final of our series of Facebook Live events this month featured on mom-centered topics. Today you guys are in for a treat because we're going to be talking a little bit about baby wearing, and we're going to have a special baby wearing fashion show. So a little bit of fun to come. I'm Deanna Reed, the Community Outreach Coordinator with Enloe Medical Center, and I'm joined here by Heidi Cantrell, who's a registered nurse and manager of Enloe's Mother and Baby Education and Lactation Program, as well as Jessica, who is a volunteer baby wearing volunteer with Babywearing volunteer educator. Yes, I'm so sorry. With Babywearing International of Chico. We also do have three more special guests with us today who are off camera at the moment, but will be coming in. We have Beth Miller from Enloe's Mother and Baby Program, as well as Simona Gallegos and Shay Willing, who are also baby wearing educators with Babywearing International of Chico. So we'll be hearing from them shortly. Just before we get started with all the good information, I want to remind everybody who's joining us live on Facebook, please go ahead and chime in, post your comments, any questions you have in the comments fields. We are going to be watching for those throughout the next 45 minutes or so and trying to answer as many of them as we can during that time. So with that, here we go. So Heidi, welcome. And can you tell us a little about what is baby wearing and what are some of the benefits for parents and their babies?
Sure. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having us and allowing us to put on these wonderful events for our community through Facebook, and for all of you joining us, as well as all of our volunteers, being able to share with you what is really important, not just in mother, baby, or caregiver and baby bonding, but also about healthy development and all of the benefits that go along with those relationships and those physical and emotional and social outcomes. So thank you for the opportunity, and thank you all for joining us. But what research has found over the years, and here at Enloe, we really work hard to be able to provide current evidence-based research and recommendations within our mother-baby service line, whether it be through prenatal or parenting education, our boutique, as well as our nurse and our provider education. We just want to make sure that we give the best quality to our patients. And what we're finding through current research is less is more, and simpler is better, and the more human interactive relationship-based experiences that we can provide, the better outcomes we're going to have. And there are times that we do need, other interventions for those outcomes, but we want to be able to not forget about connecting with each other and loving each other and respecting and responding to each other. So as that ties in with baby wearing, there's been a lot of research that I was actually so privileged to be part of early in my nursing career, and that was with Niels Bergman, who globally was looking at the benefits of skin-to-skin contact with babies that were born premature or late prematurity or had special needs, and how that skin-to-skin contact, the largest organ in our body, helped with brain development, emotional, social, physical development, as well as stabilizing heart rate, respiratory rate, as well as their glucose stores, and then also regulating their behaviors too. If you look at babies in third world countries, where are they? They're attached to adult, they're attached to a caregivers. Humans need humans. We need contact, we need love, we need that, what I call dance of attunement, to be able to know that we're respected, responded to, and loved, which helps the overall development. Many anthropologists have done studies and come up with a theory of 18 months, where the best human development is 9 months, if we can go the full 40 weeks, unless there's medical indication otherwise. 9 months inside utero, and then 9 months outside utero of mimicking what it would be like inside utero. So some people will call that the fourth trimester, which is Dr. Harvey Karp, talking about how we want to give those babies those biological rhythms that were similar to them inside utero. So he calls it the 5 S's, you know, swaddling and swaying and, you know, shushing and just being right there, which is basically wearing babies. And Dr. Sears has done studies that if you wear your babies and provide more skin-to-skin contact, they don't cry as much. In Western cultures, we look at how long a baby cries in hours, whereas other cultures it's in minutes, because they feel connected to, they feel respected and responded to, and they have those like utero experiences. They learn more. It helps with their development with language, IQ, visual acuity, as well as attachment and bonding. And then also there's many benefits for the parents because their hands are free to be able to get other things done so the baby or the child can see it from their adult's perspective. So it's great socialization. And so we teach this in our prenatal classes, in our parenting classes, and then also being baby friendly at Enloe, all of our nurses and all of our providers have learned about the benefits of skin-to-skin contact and wearing and loving and connecting and making those connections that communicate love. And I think love is at the core of all relationships. And so as simple as that sounds, it is so important. And here at Enloe, we really support that research from Dr. Niels Bergman, as well as Dr. Sears, La Leche League, Baby Friendly, I could go on and on. So anyway, it's all about that love and that connection and wearing and respecting and responding to.
Right,
So,
the closeness. I had no idea all the research and benefits that went into that. I just knew it was sweet to have my baby clothes.
Yes.
So thank you for all of that, Heidi. Jessica, can you tell us a little bit about what is Babywearing International, Chico, and how did you get involved with Babywearing?
Well, I had my babies pretty close in age, and so I just fell into Babywearing, and I looked at it more as a tool and not so much as like a, I guess for me, like now it's a lifestyle. And I had a few of other friends that were interested in making a nonprofit, a chapter of Babywearing International, and it took us quite a few years and a lot of hard work and mom hours, but we did it, and I think we believe we started it this year. We became, got our nonprofit going, and we have everybody has their titles and everything. What we focus on doing is educating the public on safety first. And it doesn't really matter if it's a $30 carrier or a $300 carrier, it's Babywearing, and you're going to get all the same benefits. As long as you're practicing Babywearing safety, you're good. And so what we do is we have a library that we let the public try out. They can rent it for up to a month if necessary. It's really, really affordable. That way you can try on all the different carriers and find the one that's going to fit you, your baby, your needs, your budget.
Right, that's really important because there's so many options.
There is a lot of
there.
options, and everybody's body type is different. And some babies may prefer, a soft shell structure carrier. The parents may want something that's really quick, and other ones want the swaddling, transition outside of the womb to make it easier to mimic it. And so that's definitely how my children were, and they wanted something more, tighter.
And I imagine you said, the getting to know, and you have the library. So, and we'll probably talk about this a little bit more later, but because we're here, so as baby grows, that's probably going to change, right?
Yes.
Which I think is maybe one of the benefits of having that library and being
just
able
in
to
case.
try that.
Yeah, and then you can try out different sizes because we have newborn sizes all the way up into toddler. We have carriers that are for pre-K as well. My daughter's 4.5. She goes up every once in a while, and it's not just I'm that lady that's wearing my child at 4.5. She can't walk. No, like there's she needs it sometimes.
She needs that bonding, that mommy
crossing
time.
the street sometimes, rather than having her in a stroller or something like that. It's easier for me to throw a carrier in the car, put it on, and I go back and forth with relatives all the time. You can't tell me you don't pick up your toddler or your 4-year-old on your hip, at the amusement park or something. You're still doing ups, so might as well use a carrier and give your hands a rest.
Right, you might not do it as much, but still
even
something
quick
that
ups,
would be natural.
even quick ups. If they feel a little insecure about the day or the people that are around, they can nestle into your back or into your chest and feel right at home.
Yeah, that's super cool. So we do have a couple of wraps that we're going to demonstrate first off. So first we have Beth Miller from Enloe's Mother Baby program. She's got the Moby Wrap. She's going to show you how that works, and this one is available at our boutique.
Hi, so I'm Beth. Heidi's going to help me demonstrate how to tie this Moby Wrap. We have these in our boutique and we really like them, and the feedback we've gotten from moms are they're great because they're adjustable. They actually grow with your baby from 8 to 35 pounds, which is great. They're super affordable. We sell ours for $47.95. And they come with booklets on show how to different ties and things like that. But we are going to actually demonstrate the newborn one today. So as you can see, there's a lot of fabric on this, and it can be intimidating, but it's really not. So that's why we're here to help you with that. So we like to just kind of show moms there's a tag. That's where your starting point is. So you fold the Moby in half like that, and then that part actually will go around and go on your tummy like that. And then the big rest of it goes like this, and it ties in the back. You make a little X in the small of your back. And then these come up around on the top of your shoulders. And these go under here, under the little tummy flap. To make like an H shape. And then you're going to make a cross right here in the lower underneath, around the back. One more X in the small of the back, around the front one more time, and that's where you tie it. So now you can see why you need all that fabric. And it's also adjustable because as your baby grows, you'll have all that flexibility. And then we have, going to position baby in there nice and safely so that we can make sure that everybody is safe, nobody that's going to fall out. And of course, we go over all this stuff in our classes. And then this little flap comes over here like this. Tied it a little bit tight, but that's okay. And then you can have baby right there, and these are really flexible too if baby needs to take a nap or you need to breastfeed. And so that's that. We are actually located, our boutique is at 251 Cohasset Road, suite number 120. We're open Monday through Friday, 11 to 4:30, closed weekends and holidays. We also encourage moms to go to the website for Moby because they have great videos, practice, all that stuff. But we are all trained to tie these, and we have an example you can come try to practice. So that's Moby.
And as the baby gets older too, Moby has videos online so you can see different ways that you can wrap as your child gets older. So we have found that this has been really popular within our program. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you guys. It seems so easy when you just wrap it around and it's like, boom, instant carrier. Practice. We have, exactly, practice makes perfect. We're going to show you now a different style of carrier. So Simona is here. She is also one of the volunteer baby wearing educators with Babywearing International, and she's going to show us how a soft structure or buckle carrier works.
Correct. So we have a soft structured carrier. These are typically what people think of when they think of baby wearing. They're very easy to find when you're out shopping for baby things, and they're also pretty easy to figure out, which is why it's most people's go-to when they want to baby wear. So there's just a few things that we're going to go over as far as how to get the correct positioning so that baby is safe and comfortable, and so that you are safe and comfortable. So what you want to do is the first thing you do is put your waist strap on, and you want to make sure that you pull this nice and taut. And you're going to see, what I want to see here is that there is no gap. You want to pull that a little tighter. There's no gap between the wearer's body and this waist strap here. You want to have that nice and taut, because what happens if it's not is baby will start to sink into that gap, and that's just not as ergonomic, so it's not going to be as comfortable. So we want to make sure that that is nice and tight. And then once we have that nice and tight, what we're going to do is go ahead and put baby in. So you're going to set baby in and make sure that their legs are nice and even. And so supporting baby with one hand, you take the other arm and put the shoulder strap on, and then switch arms and do the other arm. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take this, we call it a chest clip, even though it ends up on your back. You're going to want to buckle that chest clip. You have it here and there. So I'm going to put this down. She seems like she's got it. So you're going to put that down and tighten it. Now, this is what we see a lot, and this is incorrect. A lot of people end up wearing these way up high on their neck, and that is just not as comfortable. Where they're meant to be is much lower, and Shay's going to show you how we accomplish that. We do that by leaving the straps a little loose when we put them on, so that when we tighten them, we're going to see how that dropped right into the position that we want. And so what you want to see is this forming an H on your back, and you want this chest clip, which is on your back when your baby's on your front, closer down to your shoulder blades, and that's going to get you the optimal positioning. It's going to get you optimal comfort, because once you have it up here, it's just going to be uncomfortable for you. So I'm going to have her turn around, and we're going to check to make sure that baby is in there correctly. So what we want to see is a nice deep seat, and the way that we accomplish that is by making sure that there isn't any fabric stuck in between the baby and the bottom. So sometimes what happens is you get some fabric that's stuck under here. Shay's done a good job of having that nice and spread out. So you want everything spread out nice and even and tight, and you want to see that the baby's bottom is forming an M position. I like to think about it as sitting in a hammock. So when you sit in a hammock, normally you sink up to your knees go up above your bum, and that's how you get more comfortable. So that's what we want to see for baby, and that's what's going to be more ergonomic and more comfortable for the wearer as well. The next thing we want to check is to make sure that baby's face is not being covered. We always want to be able to look at our baby, and we want to be able to dip our head down and kiss the top of baby's head. We do this because we want to always be able to monitor baby, especially smaller babies. We want to make sure that their airway doesn't get cut off. That's really important. So we always want to make sure that they're not slumping forward and that their chin is off of their chest. So right now this looks really great. I'm going to just talk about this carrier in particular is made for small babies. So with a carrier that is not made for a small baby, usually you want to use an insert. This particular model is, and this is something that other companies are doing as well, they actually grow with their baby. So they're actually adjustable. So you see the bottom here actually will get longer, and the top can also get longer to accommodate a bigger baby. So you can fit a baby from 7 pounds up until 45 pounds. Excuse me. The thing to remember about soft structured carriers is that there are so many different kinds, and what works for one person isn't necessarily going to work for everyone. So what we want people to know is if you have a carrier and it's just not comfortable, it just might not be right for you. But don't give up on baby wearing. There's so many other carriers out there, and we have carriers that you can try on so that you can find something that actually works for you, because we really want people to get all of those benefits. And so we want people to know that if you're finding that this isn't working for you, it's not necessarily a reason to give up. There's always more carriers out there.
Awesome.
So I think it's good.
Thank you. So Jessica, Simona touched on that you want to make sure the carrier is right for you,
Yes.
that it's comfortable. How can parents know the answer to that question?
Honestly, trying on 2, 3, 4, 5. I tried on so many. I actually swapped mine out. I put them on a, swap and trade, and oh, I love this one, but maybe now I'm got to the point where I'm picky about color. So maybe it's the same. Maybe it's the same carrier, but it's not necessarily the color I wanted. I had a boy first. Now I want a girly color. Maybe I want a gender neutral. But one thing I always tell people too is it's never too early and it's never too late. I didn't start getting really serious about baby wearing until my daughter was about 11 months old. My son had just been born. My daughter didn't know how to walk yet. She was 11 months old, and I started wearing her on my back. And it was honestly my way to get out of the house, with 2 babies under 1. But I started with her when she was 11 months old, really, really wearing her. But then when it came to me being pregnant, I was wrapping my belly for comfort. And it just took all the weight off my hips, off my back. And so we have so many beautiful maternity pictures that we see of women that are wrapping their babies in these beautiful woven wraps or ring slings, or even a DIY with Osnaburg or something like that. It's always something that's safe. But it's really supportive, and so it gets you practicing on how to get the perfect tightness and everything, so that once your baby is here, you kind of got it down a little bit. But a lot of people are intimidated by using woven wraps and stick to straight up just buckle carriers because it's easy. But I try to explain to people it's just like a toddler learning to tie their shoes. They're gonna get mad about it, they're gonna stomp, maybe have a cry, but eventually they're gonna get it. I had a cry. But eventually they get it, and once you get it, it's like riding a bike for me. It definitely instilled a lot of confidence. I had depression. I had, postpartum depression, anxiety, and one day I ended up going over to my friend's house. She goes, "Have you ever tried baby?" I'm like, "Yeah, I wear my baby all the time." "No. Have you ever tried baby wearing?" And then she introduced me to the online community and all the different options. And so once baby number 3 came, which I had 3 babies in less than 3 years.
Oh my
They were very, very close. Yes. So my daughter was still 2. My son was 1 when my baby was born, my 3rd. And when it came time for her, I was like, I got this.
I'm a pro.
Yeah, I got this. I was so confident. I knew my mom game was going to be strong. And I mean,
awesome.
I still have my moments where, you know, I'm just like, oh my gosh, am I doing anything right? But, you know, honestly, all my worries when I go grocery shopping by myself, thrown out the window once I have my carrier in the car. You know, the worst day for me is when I forgot the carrier at home.
Well, I was thinking too, it's, you know, practical even if you're not out and about, right? You can put your baby carrier on, you can vacuum, you can do dishes, and you're
no
still
excuses
connected,
at my house.
and it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And Jessica,
definitely.
I hear that all the time from parents in my classes, that when they wear their babies and they can respond to them, it builds
Reading the
confidence,
cues,
it builds your competencies when they don't cry as much, and then you not only give to them, but you get back from them in that relationship.
Well,
so,
the first 3 months of my third daughter, third child, she's 20 months now. She's still worn every day, you know, for hours out of the day. But she didn't really cry for the first 3 months because I was always wearing her. Once she became an infant, I didn't need to do tummy time because when she's upright, she has tummy time, but it's vertical tummy time. You know, I didn't need to worry about her on the mat. Okay, is she gonna fall on her face? You know, I have to be right there. Nope, she was right here, and I could read all her cues. I knew when she was hungry. I knew before she was gonna go that she needed to change, you know, because she was right here, and I just could read it all. Yeah, the face she would make, you know, everything, you know, and it got to the point where I could tend to my now 3-year-old, now 2-year-old, and help them because I also homeschooled. So it allowed me to do all those things, as well as do my baby wearing meetups, be a stay-at-home mom, take them to Turtle Bay for a vacation by myself with all 3 kids. All of it I was able to do with baby wearing.
And it reminds me of what Niels Bergman calls kangaroo care. You know, having them look out and having like a little patch and going through life together.
Yeah,
So,
and I definitely know verbal skills as well. My daughter learned to talk really early on. My son as well, and I get comments all the time. They're preschool teachers, now my daughter's TK teacher, comments on how well her verbal skills are, how well her life skills are, how she knows how to do all these things for herself. And I honestly, I attribute it to wearing her for so long on my back. So
Just hearing you and mimicking what you're
her
doing.
interaction on the playground, she is the one leading all the kids what game to play today, you know.
That's cute.
Yeah.
So fun. So with all these options, all the ways to carry, all of the practical things for parents, you know, whether that's mom or dad or grandparent, how long is it okay for the caregiver to have baby in those positions? You
For
know,
me,
is
I
there
trust my body.
guidelines?
I trust my body. When I start to kind of feel a little achy or something, I know I need a break. If my child is getting starts whining or just complaining, I know either first off they're going to fall asleep in the carrier because it's nap time, or because they have a need that I need to meet. And by wearing them from so early on, I usually can just, at the drop of a hat, I know exactly what it is. But yes, trusting your body, because you don't want to wear yourself out and pay for it, you know, the next day or the next day. You want to make sure you care for yourself as well as your child.
And I agree with Jessica, is because there's so many different variables in that. If you got enough sleep or what other things that you've done in that day that have fatigued your body, you know, physically and emotionally.
If you have a disability.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and also I think it's important to know how far up that carrier can go in holding the weight to ensure that it stays safe.
Always read what the manufacturer's instructions are, the weight limits and everything like that. But also go by, you know, even if it's the baby's at the right weight, but maybe your body type, the baby's body type just isn't quite fitting for that carrier, try a different one. And if you have a carrier and your baby meets the weight requirement, but it's just not the right fit, come to a meeting. We have bi-monthly meetups. Our leaders always do impromptu meetups at the park for play dates. And I know I do at least one a week in Orland, just meet up with a mom that needs help. And you know, it's not even for BWI, it's just because it's our passion.
And one point I want to make is that I have heard more parents where they feel like they have back injuries or they're more sore from carrying their baby in the car seat as opposed to wearing them, because it allows you to keep them in the core, you know, which
It's
is
not
the strongest part of your body, as
right.
opposed to this, and then swinging to comfort them.
And the
You
extra
swing
weight
your
of
body.
the carrier.
Yeah. Well, if you can imagine, I had my daughter 11 months old, my son newborn. Can you imagine little me carrying two? What about if I had to go to a grocery store? How do you fit those in? There'd be no
that'd be
way.
crazy.
Yeah, so I just wore them, and once my third came along, I never even took the car seat out of the car. He's just always either popped her in a ring sling or in a woven wrap or whatever I had handy, and it worked really well.
That's cool. So I guess that's a great cue to just reinforce what we've been saying all along in our Facebook Lives. Everybody is different. We all have different body types, all have different strengths, all have different needs. So it's important to listen to that, as you guys have said. Know your body, see what you're feeling, and then if something doesn't seem right, try something different. So now comes the extra fun part.
Yes.
We have quite a few moms and their babies and little ones, some toddlers, who are going to give you a little fashion show here and show you some of the different styles of baby carriers, because there are many styles you can choose from, and we want you to just see what they look like and have a little sneak peek. So Shay is one of the volunteer educators with Babywearing International Chico, and she is gonna lead off our fashion show.
Hello everyone, my name is Shay. I'm a volunteer baby wearing educator with BWI Chico, and I'm going to introduce a bunch of different moms and their babies and different carriers. Come on out, Paula. This is Paula,
And it's Elena. She's 3 weeks old.
and Paula is wearing a ring sling. And I want to mention that ring slings are really great because they're relatively easy compared to a full wrap, a woven wrap. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but they're also very, very great for breastfeeding.
Yes.
Thank you, Paula.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Desiree, and this is Taj. He's almost 6 months.
And we're wearing Taj and a Beko Gemini today. These are great for little guys. We don't need an insert. We were talking about those earlier. The inserts are kind of like a cocoon, and they get super hot, especially here in Chico. A carrier like this, we can face inwards towards mom, face outwards like he is, or on your back. I want to mention, very important, when they're on your front, it's very, very important for them not to fall asleep because they can pinch off their airway. So if baby starts to get sleepy, if you're wearing them forward facing out, we want to turn them around so that they can sleep safely against your chest and you can monitor their airway better. Thank you.
My name's Eric. This is our son Finn. He's almost 6 months old.
And Eric is wearing a soft structured carrier. I want to mention this one especially has the adjustment. Also doesn't need an insert, just like the other one. It grows with the baby. And he's sleeping on there, but it's great for the mesh as well. And another important thing I wanted to mention, we were going to do tandem with baby toddler here on the back. This is great to keep your hands free and keep baby safe from toddler.
Hi, I'm Danielle. This is Gracelyn.
We got Danielle. She's wearing a hand woven wrap today. These are considered a more higher end one. They're actually hand woven on a loom, and they create a very distinct pattern, hand woven, and they're very beautiful. Even though baby wearing can be done at a smaller price point, this would be your higher end one. So it's nice to have the little bit of pizzazz on the wrap. Thank you.
I'm Jennifer, and this is Lewis.
And Jennifer today is wearing an Enloe. I wanted to point out Enloe are very much like the soft structure carrier, but they lack the waistband. And that's great because it's not going to dig into you, especially if you're pregnant or it's just uncomfortable. Another great thing is they can see how high up he's here. So he can see out and see the world instead of being with his face to mom's back. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Courtney, and this is Caden. He's 6 months old.
Courtney is using a wrap conversion Madai, and these are very similar to the soft structure carrier. They have a panel. They are not structured, so they can be adjusted to fit a smaller baby. The waistband doesn't have that padding, so you can scrunch it for smaller babies, and you can wear them on your back. You can wear them on your front, and you can also do hips. I want to mention a very important thing on the back. Baby needs to be able to sit unassisted typically, but in this wrap, you don't have to. It supports the baby enough. We just want to make sure we practice over a bed or a soft surface so we don't drop baby. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Stacia and this is Hannah. She's 2.
So Stacia is using a toddler carrier right now. This brand is very great because it goes up to bigger sizes. A lot of people don't think we can wear toddlers, but toddlers do need that. We talked about that earlier. And I want to mention a special thing with Stacia here. She has a son who is autistic, and so that's very important for her to be able to wear her son when he needs that extra comfort. And this carrier actually has one next step up that allows her to do that even if he grows even bigger.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lauren. This is Penelope, and she is 9 months old.
So Lauren here is wearing a woven wrap. So this is a lot like the Moby that we demonstrated earlier, but it doesn't have any stretch. So this is great for the bigger and heavier babies. It provides a lot more support for you. She's using a special carry in here that has a slip knot, so she can pull it up and down, which is great for breastfeeding. And lastly, we have our last lovely model.
This is Haya. It's Haya Bonnie, means beautiful life. She'll be 2 next month.
And we're wearing a ring sling, and the ring slings we demonstrated with a smaller baby, the very first one, but they're great because they can go up to the toddler age. And with the toddlers, they like to get up and down and up and down, and if you were to do a wrap, it can be very time consuming, and this is great to get them up and out, and they can still snuggle in. Toddlers do still get overstimulated, and they can still snuggle in and be close to mom. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Shay, and thank you all to all of our models. That was super fun to see all their little smiling faces and all the ways that they're being carried. We did have one question from our audience so far, so I want to pose that to you guys. With the wraps, how do you judge sizing? Are they one size fits all, or are they different sizes?
It could. I know the smaller end of the wraps I can't really use. I mean, I could, but it's not as comfortable for me. There's so many different carries that you can do with all the different sizes. Basically, we all go by base sizes. You have to find your base size. My base size is a size 6, which is 4.6 meters. But when I had my son, my size was a size 5, which was 4.2. So it fluctuates. When I was tandem wearing, that would be wearing my daughter on my back and my son on the front, all in one woven wrap, I was a size 7 to 8, just depending on what carry I was gonna do. So just finding, if you're going for a shorty, it'd be like a size 4 all the way down to a size 2, 1, where you would do a traditional carry, similar to using a rebozo, which is the type of carry you would use in Latin America, Mexico. That's where I got my passion from. But I always tell people, find your base size. Come to a meeting, try on all the different kinds, using one that's a little bit thinner to kind of get used to the tightening. When in doubt, use a size 6. You know, there's so many different charts on Facebook that you can find, but really getting hands-on, you know, your bust size, whether you're male, you're tall, you're short, it all goes into it.
Right, and probably how you wrap it, because
Yes.
I was noticing that
Different
there's so many
ways.
different
Oh,
configurations.
yes. The shorty with just one shoulder is actually my go-to. I did a tutorial on it a few months ago, and it's definitely my #1. It was very quick. With the slip knot, you just slide it up and down. My toddler goes in and out, and I can keep it where it's low and be driving in the car, my baby in the car seat, of course, and then we get out, and then right away I can put my baby back in it without having to do too much tightening or wrapping it all over and getting the tails in the road, which it washes. It's not. When I first started wearing, I worried about the tails. Now, not so much.
I think that comes with the third baby too, right? We're
Yes.
so nervous the first
I
time.
was
and then we
always like a
relax and
second-time
got
mom,
there.
though.
And I guess my feedback would be that what the feedback I've gotten is that the Moby Wraps or ones like it, where it's just one piece of material, is like a one size fits all, is the answer to that question. And then you can kind of mold it in a way that's comfortable for you as well as the baby as they get older.
Yeah.
And then you have a lot of alternatives of different ways that you can wrap it. So it really doesn't have a size. It's just that you kind of wrap it in a way that is comfortable for you and your baby.
Yeah. Some parents, though, like even for myself, having it for me it was very trial and error with the stretchy wrap. I did eventually get it, but I can see how some parents would be turned off because it is such a long piece of material. They can feel overwhelmed, but just practice makes perfect, and you know, just determination, a little bit of determination, and your mom game or parenting caregiving game will be up a whole bunch. And I definitely loved my stretchy wrap in the beginning. It was my very first carrier, so yeah.
So with all the different styles that we've shown here today and all the other ones that are still out there to be discovered,
Yes.
where can parents find them?
There's a whole your boutique you talked about, correct?
Right.
Yes. There's local stores as well around Chico. Definitely, if you're looking for something on a budget, I would always recommend going to Facebook. Look for a buy, sell, trade, swap, and there's a site on there called Babywearing on a Budget where other caregivers, you know, will trade their wraps or sell them for everything under $100. You can find some $20 ones. You know, that retail is a whole lot more, but then there's also more high-end ones. So that's my go-to is on Facebook when you start trying different ones. But for sure, go to a Babywearing meetup. Half the moms probably have a couple that they're willing to sell for a pretty good steal. And then you get to try it before you buy it.
News, fall's coming.
The tree approved.
So you've referenced Facebook and the meetups a few times.
Yes.
So Babywearing International Chico has a Facebook page.
Yes.
You want to tell our audience how they can find you?
Yeah, just look up in the search Babywearing International of Chico, and you do have to get approved, but we have 3 admins and 2 volunteers that help approve, so you get approved pretty quickly. And then you can ask as many questions as you need. You can ask if there's when the next meeting is. We put all our information there, when we're going to be out doing outreach events in Glenn County or in Butte. And if you are not from Chico but still super interested in Babywearing, go to babywearinginternational.org, and there they have a little site that says find a chapter near you. You can always type Babywearing and then type the city of your name in Facebook as well, and it can show you like pictures of baby wears that are there, or pictures of, or show you little groups that are in your area or nearby you, so you can find the help that you need.
And just a reminder to find Enloe's Mother Baby Boutique, where you can find the Moby Wrap. You can go to enloe.org and go to the Mother and Baby section, and we have information about the boutique and the hours that Beth had mentioned and the address and everything, so you can always find it there if you forget.
And I want to mention too, in our parenting classes, I would say about 90%, as you were all walking through, had gone through our baby classes. And so here at Enloe, when you deliver here, you get a free 6-class series. And if you deliver elsewhere, you're more than welcome to come. There is a fee involved, but that's where a lot of education and support and information, not just about baby wearing and attachment and bonding and skin-to-skin contact, but so much more. And so those are on Wednesdays from 10:30 to 12 at the Mother Baby Education Center and Boutique, which is at the Fountain Medical Plaza, once again, 251 Cohasset, Suite 120. So we'd love to have you come and join us.
Awesome. So I have just one last question. Okay, so do either of you have a favorite that you want to share with our audience?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, first, you probably all know the Moby Wrap, especially for that 4th trimester, the first 3 months after a baby is born. And then I've heard a lot of feedback from the Ergo Wrap, where it gives a little bit of cushion and support for the lower back. So I have to say that those 2 are my favorite. As far as the logistics of the practicality of both those wraps, but I'm looking at those and some of them look very beautiful. It's part of like an article of clothing.
They do.
Yeah.
It's a really pretty
designer.
It's very, that's why I told you I may have the same carrier, but sometimes it's not the right color. So, yeah. For me, it's woven wrap, hands down. My passion is to make it to where I can find something that's budget friendly, because we're a 1-income family. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 2 years, a little over 2 years, 2.5 years actually. Wow. wow.
Time flies.
I know. And so I like finding the budget-friendly ones, but I have found a local weaver here in Chico that makes hand wovens, and I can kind of dabble into the more high-end. And so I have my own little collection going of those as well. But my favorite is finding traditional-looking woven wraps, something that really brings me back to my roots and makes me feel more in tune with the Purepecha roots in my family.
It's really cool. It was beautiful.
So if there's fringe, I'm like,
that's a bonus.
oh yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys both. All the information was great. I honestly had no idea there was so much of a foundation, and so it was really exciting to hear about that, and then to see all the different styles that our model shared with us today. So thank you. For all those of you at home, thank you so much for joining us today. And if you tuned in earlier in the month, thank you for joining us earlier as well. We hope you've enjoyed it and learned a lot along the way. The video will stay posted on our Facebook page, so if you missed part of it or just want to come back and review and maybe pause and check out some of those cool wraps, feel free to do so. And watch our Facebook page, because we'll have more fun information and education coming soon. So thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.